Hello, lovely peoples. Thank you for your patience and for your continued support. Yesterday, we cracked 10,000 subscribers on YouTube, which is an indication to me that we started this time 2 years ago, that there is a need in the world for some honest reflection, some awarenesses, so that people can make better quality decisions about their life, their lifestyle, and how they face into the current flood of confusing and conflicting information. First and foremost, to have a really good and healthy life, it takes a lot of work. It takes things like diet, nutrition, of course, sleep, exercise, and a lot of wisdom. Sleep, of course. Yeah, sleep's a good one. Without sleep, you don't go anywhere. I feel that to try and talk into the different narratives and present them in such a way that may be helpful, in a lot of cases polarizes people. And once you're not part of the accepted narrative of a person's mindset, everything you say after that is pretty much blocked or unheard. So I would like to say things like valuing yourself and others, and understanding deep down that everybody's fighting some sort of battle. I had a particular person in my life that recently I had made some assessments. I wouldn't call them judgments. They were observations, and I guess I came to some temporary conclusions about that person because I didn't understand their behavior. But I was in a room where that person opened up and explained some of their own personal challenges that they were going through. Man, am I so glad I never voiced to another human being how I felt about that person's worldview, because in that moment I had to hold back the tears, because that person's life struggle, private, unexposed, was pretty challenging. And given the context that I now had after knowing that person for many years, probably 5, 6 years, something like that, maybe longer, I'd known and had close contact with that person, but I'd never seen that aspect of their life. But I can identify with what that person was sharing, because others in the room have similar challenges. So what is the solution moving forward? Well, I would say no one likes to be pushed against their own personal will of choices. But at the same token, if love was at the front of all that we did, would we be so vindictive, so judgmental, so harsh on the people around us? I personally think that irrespective of a polarized opinion, that governments using such forceful coercion and tactics on people for the so-called better good will in future times find it difficult to exist without some sort of judgment, some sort of recompense, some sort of reaction from the populace. These riots are caused because from the deepest part of a person's emotion, their values are being trampled. People are being victimized and punished because of mass consensus due to a narrative. And in a lot of cases, these narratives have been tailored and altered, and they are a thrust of a group. And I feel It is fine for all these people to have a say and give people a choice and put this out there. But it's not fair to weaponize narratives and start to deal with people with emotive structural damage just to get a point across, especially when the opposing views are equally as strong and valid. Once there was sensible debate and there was sensible discourse around subjects of national interest, of health interest, of personal interest. We're in times now where our financial system is in question, our health system is in question, and the political malaise and potpourri of confusion has shown us that if we subjugate our own thinking and hand our own decision-making over to others, we will get washed down the sewer of life without much consideration. It's time that we all start to look at critical thinking. And in relation to science, science has now become very questionable to me and others, because when you take the factors into consideration to make a deduction, all things need to be considered because all things affect all things. And unfortunately, a lot of the scientific premise is based on narrow selected facts and selections, and hypotheses are drawn via erroneous conclusions that suit a narrative. So this is a short conversation. One, appreciation for your continued support to my channel. And two, to inspire you to look at both sides of any argument. And don't hand your brain over to the mass psychosis and the blind programming that goes through mainstream media. And it's not just mainstream media. If you look carefully, the advertising moguls, the signboards, the advertisements on TV, the political narratives woven into Sesame Street and shows you watch, it's time to dry out your mind, begin to meditate, come out from the masses, and really start to look into what is real for you and what rings true over a period of time. Now, I have been very open up until this point to consider all parties and all opinions on all matters. But sooner or later, you've got to draw a line in the sand and realize what's fair and what's not fair. I quite categorically see that selective punishment, criticism, victimization, berating, polarized ideas against workforces, people, teachers. It's a time now where you've got to weigh in the crucible of your mind your own ethics, your own values, your own understandings, because if you take them secondhand from others, and that includes me, then you're not thinking for yourself. And therefore, you sadly are swimming around in a sea of unconsciousness and have relegated your responsibility to all sorts of external forces. So when life pushes you through a sieve, you've only got yourself to blame if you don't take responsibility. If you do take responsibility and you still push through a sieve, at least you know you gave it your best shot. At least you know you're living your life to the fullest you can. There you have it. Thank you for your love and support. Hope you continue to watch our videos. We're just bordering up to 50,000 views. And see you on FKC health on our YouTube channel. And please remember to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell, and the notifications will come through, because we've got some great interviews coming up and some new talks. I took a good sabbatical and rest due to getting a massive bout of hay fever. This season somehow impacts me a lot in the area of hay fever. And recently I had a guest living in my home, an international student who got severe COVID, and I had to nurse that person back to health before I put him on a plane and send him back to Thailand. But I didn't get it. And that's amazing. He'd had 3 jabs and he got a serious bout of COVID. We were worried for him. I was in close proximity. I didn't get COVID. And I'm not vaccinated at all. Now, I'm not suggesting to anyone whether they should or shouldn't get vaccinated. I'm just saying, weigh things up. Look beneath the surface. Because when you look at what's going on in the world today, it's a combination of things, not just vaccines or COVID. It's many layers to the onion. And if you join the dots, you can see from the level of elections, politics, finances, cryptos. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm a realist that deals with what I can see, and the dots that I join virtually merge into each other by themselves. So I'm not making any conclusions from my research. I'm coming up with deductions that are blatantly obvious. So look out for your life, look out for your loved ones, stay well, and we'll see you soon. Thank you.